Guys, this is really awesome. Okay, let me see. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this. It's around 2:24 in the afternoon. Welcome to this session where I'm going to teach, and at the same time, I'm going to learn what innermost loop optimization is all about. So, I had this question, and about programming, and it came to me by watching a TED Talk by Alex Wisner Gross, a very smart guy who knows about AI. He, I think, has like 3 MIT degrees. So this is a very smart guy. And he talked about innermost loop optimization. So I just went on ChatGPT and I just asked, what the hell is this? And so today I'm going to learn it at the same time that you're learning it. So I'm going to try to explain what it is and what are the practical applications of this concept, inner loop optimization or innermost loop optimization. And I'm going to link it to my concept of recursive profit improvement. Recursive profit improvement basically means that you're continually improving your profit every week, every day, every hour. So let's see how it works. So I asked it, what is the innermost loop optimization? And basically, ChatGPT is explaining it in simple language, right? And he's talking about a loop's duration. So the loop can, be in terms of years, or it can be in terms of days. And basically what a loop is just think of it as a routine, right? So you can do a routine every year. And for example, every year on December 31st, people say, I'm going to commit to a New Year's resolution. So it's really strange because, like, why do you have to wait for 1 year before you make a positive change in your life, right? Like, why not like tomorrow, February 5th? Why not like when you wake up in the morning, you say, today I'm going to change something? Why do you have to wait for 1 year to make a New Year's resolution? Why not like a daily resolution? So that's what it means. Instead of waiting for, a whole year, you can just attack the loop or the routine that is short. Because if the loop is short or the routine is short, it means that it's gonna come back often. So for example, every day you get a chance to do something new, right? Every day when you wake up in the morning, especially when you sleep, You forget about everything that happened the day before, arguments you may have had, or struggles, or, you might even have been depressed, or you feel lonely yesterday. Well, today's a new day. You go out, you do something new. So you're refreshing your mindset. So every day you get a new chance. So that's what he's talking about here. And the idea here is that if you focus on a routine or loop that comes back often, it means that it's going to repeat. So if you change something in your daily habit, it's going to amplify the benefits, right? Because you're repeating it 365 days a year. And you can even do it every hour. I remember when I was learning calligraphy, I would carry a fountain pen, a calligraphy fountain pen with me. It means that I can practice calligraphy everywhere. And that's how I was able to learn calligraphy quickly. So the idea here is to improve something that you do often. Okay. Just as a concrete example, before we get into this code here, which I'm going to explain, don't worry, because if you don't have programming knowledge, then it's kind of tricky to understand. But before we get into it, let's think about something that you want to improve in your life. So let's say there are 4 key areas of life: love or relationships, money, health, and spirituality or peace. So let's say, let me think. Okay, let's say that you want to improve your writing. Well, should you write a blog once every week and then ask people for feedback, or should you write every day? Obviously, if you write a blog or an article every day, then you're going to get feedback and you're going to improve much faster, right? Same thing, like let's say I'm teaching you calligraphy. Should you practice calligraphy once a week, or should you practice every day, just half an hour? Well, obviously you should practice every day. And in fact, you should send me your calligraphy every day so I can give you feedback every day. And this feedback is important. And it comes from Anders Ericsson, the authority. Like, he died a while ago, but he was the authority on expertise and how to become a true expert. So anyways, let's go back to this code, and I'm going to explain to you very simple. This code is a loop. And basically when it says for each user, and you have 1,000 users, it means that you're going to treat user number 1, right, out of 1,000. And you're going to do this for user number 1. And you do all of this, these loops, and then in the same way, after you're done, you go to user number 2 and you repeat this. Okay. And in the same way, when you do the first order for user number 1, you're going to do this for the first order for user number 1. And then for user number 1, but the second order, you're going to do the same thing. And so it's a loop, right? So you just have to multiply 1,000 by 100 by 10 items, and you have a maximum of 1,000,000 computations or actions or. But sorry, it says here that it's reconnected. And so obviously, if you improve the outer loop here, you're going to save 1,000 operations, because that's what the instruction is about. But if you improve something, the inner loop, which is this one, it means that you're going to improve it not just 10 times, but times 100 times, because it's running like a loop, times 1,000. So you're going to be improve it 1,000,000 times, which is like 3 orders of magnitude better than the outer loop optimization. So, don't worry if you don't understand this idea of loops. It's just a routine. So this is what engineers are doing. Now, okay, this is not really important. Okay, so here it's very thoughtful. It's focusing on my business, right? Because I'm not a programmer. So if you are running a business, how can you achieve what I call recursive profit improvement? How can you, improve your your business operation? Okay, so in my business, I can fix a rare case or a problem. Let me see. I can this is just a very innocuous example, but let's say, let me see. Okay, so let's say that I print a new business card. Okay, okay, so I print a new business card. That's very high level because it's my brand, it's my name out there. Or and printing a new business card, probably something I do once a year. Or I could improve a daily habit in my business. For example, let's say waking up in the morning at 8 o'clock and teaching something from 9 to 10. This is something I do every day. So between the decision to print a new business card or, the commitment to teach from 9 to 10 every day, obviously the second one is better because I'm not just teaching 9 to 10 like today. I'm going to do it 365 days a year, right? So this is better. Improving a daily habit is better because whatever you're improving, you have to multiply it by 365 days. And so you're getting like leverage, massive leverage. So a daily habit is always better. Don't worry too much about this. So we're going to skip over this because it has programming, which a lot of people might not understand. This too is about, so this is good. So one of my business projects is a universal basic business, and basically it's a franchise that people can get almost for free. And it's a universal online business that anyone can download to the computer and they can run this basic business. They can make money from it because basically they're going to be reselling digital courses and documents and source code I'm going to develop. So they have the right to resell, and we're going to teach them how to run this basic business or this online business. And it's universal because anyone in the world can have access to it. So we have to think in loops. Okay. So if I improve my onboarding page and it's fancy, but it's just pretty, it's just beautiful, it's okay, but it's bad optimization in the sense that it's not going to have a big impact. In the same way, like if I create, let's say, a specific business for a particular kind of person, it's not leverage because it's only for that particular type of people. It's not for everyone. Remember, this is a universal basic business. Or if I set up a one-time thing, I don't know, let's say I put a giant poster on my wall and the poster says a universal basic business is going to liberate mankind, which is great for me, but the following day nothing happens because I'm just inspired today. Actually, I'm inspired tomorrow too because I'm reading that poster. But anyways, it doesn't have an impact on customers and users. It's just me in my home office. However, when we talk about these high leverage optimization or inner loops, if I improve the workflow for someone who's using the universal basic business, for example, if I improve, this is very good. If I improve a, what is this? If I improve, if I add a new resellable video course, so let's say I have 9, and then I add the 10th product, it means that I'm not just adding one new resellable product, I'm adding it for 1,000 people, because let's say there's 1,000 users of that ebook. So can you see that if I create a new product, it's gonna help like 1,000 people? And that's why, by the way, like Tesla and their self-driving cars, I mean, they're gonna make a fortune, because when you buy a Tesla and it has self-driving AI within their FSD chip, it's a full self-driving chip. When Tesla improves the artificial intelligence that is driving a car, the new improvement is going to be distributed over the air, or OTA. It's going to be sent over the air to all the Tesla cars on the market. It means that, let's say Elon is improving something like just 1%. It makes the self-driving AI better 1%. It might not seem like a lot, but that 1% is going to be distributed to the millions of Tesla cars out there. And so that's an example of inner loop optimization or high leverage. Another example, let's forget about Tesla. Let's focus on my universal basic business. Another example is, let's say that I figure out a way to help people to skip a particular step when they're launching a business. And by the way, that's exactly what this is about, right? Because when you're launching a new business, one of the, probably the biggest obstacle is you have to create a product. You have to create a digital product. And this is really hard for 99.9% of people. Like I've had like clients who have had great difficulty to create a new product, whether it's a workshop, whether it's a keynote, a documentary, whether it's a course. You know, it's very hard to create a new product. And so what if I eliminate that step? I would be eliminating that step for millions of people. Like anyone who wants to go into business, they don't have to create a new product, right? And so it wouldn't be a decision step, it would be an action step. And so if I give people, users of this universal basic business, the license, the right, we call it master resale rights. If I give them the right to resell my video courses, my ebooks, then they don't have to create a new product, right? I just eliminated that step for millions of people. And so that's an example of high leverage optimization. A core action that users have to perform. Okay, so one core action is that when you have a universal basic business, which I'm going to give you, one core action obviously is that you have to do the marketing, or you have to do, let's say, the selling. You have to sell, right? You have to show up and you have to explain, maybe in a video on YouTube. But what if I create that video? What if I create a video sales letter and I use, like, you know, a beautiful woman who has an articulate voice, and she appears in the video and she is selling the resellable ebook or video course? Then the users don't have to show up in a video. Sometimes these days they call it like a faceless video, because that sales video has been done by like a woman, let's say an actress, or it can be done by an AI avatar. So users don't have to sell. So I just eliminated one core action, meaning I just eliminated the sales action that people, you know, don't have to do anymore. So, you know, with this universal basic business, people not only don't have to create a new product, they don't even have to sell it, because they just have to upload the video. The video has been made for them and everybody is using the same video. And so can you see how amazing that is? It means that if I want this universal basic business to succeed, I have to, number one, I have to create an amazing product that people can sell easily. So it can be a video course that I use to teach. Could be email marketing or professional sales, or how to create a college level course, etc. So that's number one. If I create that product, it's going to be useful to millions of people. So that would be a major win for me and for people. But number two, if I create a sales video, and I could do that video, by the way, because I'm the creator of the product, I can say, hey guys, you know, welcome to this video webinar where I'm going to explain to you what my video course is all about. And when you buy it, you can resell it, blah, 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 blah. And it costs you only $100. And don't forget, when you buy it, you have the master resale rights. You can resell it. So just go click the link below and, you know, invest in, you know, buy it for $100. And so when I do that sales video myself, then the users of the universal basic business, they don't have to sell. They don't have to show up. They don't have to show their face. They just upload the video on their YouTube channel and they just share the YouTube video with everyone they think might be interested. So that's great. So here they're just, you know, summarizing. So the user of UBB, she logs in and she chooses an action. Okay, she has to choose an action. So that's the burden. She has to execute the playbook. That's another burden. And so these are just some of the steps that I have to eliminate for the universal basic business user. So let's say it's a woman. Okay, let's say it's Juliana, and she wants to make money online. Well, she logs in, and and she has to perform the action. She has to choose from the playbook. I need to automate all of that for her, so that she just has to log in and do one thing. Because that loop seems to be confusing. It has friction. I would have to explain to Juliana what she has to do and blah blah blah. And she doesn't have a business education or background, so it's too complicated for her. She's not going to make money. So it has to be like something that is almost like autonomous, like a Tesla car. You get in and the car drives itself. Okay, so how would I be able to fix that for Juliana, a female user of the Universal Basic Business? Well, I would have to create templates for her, so she can just use a template. Let's say she wants to sell the products in a Zoom session. She can just download the template and she can just read the script. So Juliana would say, "Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Zoom webinar. I'm going to talk to you about the amazing ebooks and video courses created by none other than the famous Super Peter. And Super Peter is a serial entrepreneur. He created this perfect business video course for you." And then so Juliana just has to read. She doesn't have to prepare. She just has to read. I mean, I'm assuming that she's literate. Just read. But of course, she wants to read it with a certain, with some vitality. She cannot say, "Hello, this is Juliana. I'm about to talk to you about Super Peter." No, she has to say, "Hello, everyone." And, women are usually very good at that. And so there's a checklist also. She doesn't have to think, okay, what do I do first? Do I create the Zoom or do I invite people? So it's step by step, and so on and so forth. So that's how Juliana can make money from the Universal Basic Business. We're going to skip over this. It's not very important. So my next question, okay, so here the synthesis is that it's about leverage. It's not about doing. And this is something that employees have to really upgrade in their thinking, because people have a to-do list. So when you show up at the office or you work from home, every day in the morning, you have a to-do list. Number one, I have to do this. Number two, I have to do this. But it's not about doing anymore. It's about, you're still performing action, but you want to make sure that the action that you're performing, it gives you leverage, right? So the action that you're performing or the change that you're making, it has to be repeated every single day, or it has to be, the improvement has to be spread across like a large number of people. So here's another example. Like in the last few years, I diligently invited 200 people to join my LinkedIn Connections network. And today I have 21,000 connections. And so if I create a LinkedIn technique or workshop, then that's an amazing achievement, because I'm not just creating that LinkedIn workshop or web application for one LinkedIn customer. I'm sharing it with 21,000 LinkedIn users, right? So let's say they pay me only like $1 each one of them. It means that when I create that LinkedIn workshop, I could potentially make $21,000, assuming that my LinkedIn connections pay me $1. So can you see how important it is to pave the way for leverage? Pave the way meaning that I've known this for years. I've known that money can only come from people, right? And LinkedIn is full of people who also happen to be professionals. So I can see their track record. I can see that, they're vice presidents, they're CEOs, they're consultants, they're keynote speakers. They're very, very competent and they make a lot of money. And so that's why I thought, one day I'm going to be able to sell them something. But right now, every week I have to invite 200 people. Now, when you invite 200 people, not all of them will accept, because they're going to read your LinkedIn profile and they're going to decide whether it's useful for them to connect to you. And that's perfectly normal, And so that's a quick tangent. Leverage comes from repetition. That's another key concept here. You've got to create a change or a task that will be repeated. Okay, so an example is McDonald's. Everybody knows the Ray Kroc story. Ray Kroc approached two guys who were running a hamburger joint. And what he did was just watch the movie The Founder. It tells you the story of McDonald's. So Ray Kroc standardized all the operations in a kitchen and in front of the cashier so that any teenager today can just execute the instruction, and the teenager will be able to serve people all over the world because everything has been standardized and coded. And so any improvement that you bring to a McDonald's operation, it's going to improve profits significantly, because that improvement will be repeated across all the McDonald's in the world. So I don't know if you are aware of this, but there was one time when the McDonald's cashier, usually a girl, she would say, "Would you like French fries with that?" And just that sentence, it dramatically improves sales. Just by asking, "Would you like fries with that?" Like, she's not pressuring the customer, like, "Would you like French fries with that?" That's it. That one line generated, hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Because that one line became something that all the girls behind the cash register, they have to say that. It's like, it's robotic. They have to do it. So can you see how incredible, repetition is? In the same way, like when you write a sales letter, and that's why I charge a lot of money if you hire me to do your sales letter. If I improve your sales letter, I'm not going to charge you like $500. I'm going to charge you thousands of dollars. Why? Because if I improve your sales letter and it converts better, let's say instead of 5%, it converts at 10%. Well, the additional 5% is multiplied by your revenue. So, for example, just by improving your sales conversion by 5%, you could bring in, let's say, $200,000. Well, you're going to make $200K. I'd like a piece of that if you don't mind, right? So I'm probably going to charge you $10,000 to rewrite your sales letter. $10,000 is not a lot, because you're going to make $200,000, 20 times more, right? And so, that's why repetition, or the ability to duplicate, that's very important. Okay, so this is very technical. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here, but I think you understand the picture, and I want to share this with you. I'm very excited because as I was teaching this, a lot of ideas came to me, and by the way, and I'm very glad because this inner loop thing is extremely powerful. It's probably one of the top 5 business frameworks that I've ever come across, thanks to Alex Gross Wisner. And by the way, this video itself that I'm creating right now, where I'm verbalizing my thoughts in real time, everything is spontaneous. This video is an example of inner loop, or maybe not inner loop, but it's an example of leverage. Why? Because once this video is on YouTube, and it will be, there could be 1,000 people watching it and learning. There could be 20,000. I mean, it goes on and on forever. I mean, this video is like a demonstration of my, let's say, my skill as a teacher. And therefore, every time that somebody watches that video, they get value, and I'm able to serve people, and hopefully they will, buy something from me. So creating this video is very strategic. It's not really inner loop, but it has to do with leverage and repetition. Okay, let me just see what else. So the rest is just additional details. Inner loop principle. Okay. But see, like, this is an example of where, like, if you learn a little bit of programming, you don't have to be like a top programmer, but if you learn the basic concepts like while loop and if loops, etc., you would understand much better. You would appreciate better. But even without programming knowledge, I think you can understand, because a loop is just like a habit, a routine that you do every day, every hour. So once you understand this inner loop principle, and you focus on the inner loop, you focus on what you're doing every day, or even every hour, but let's not get carried away. You focus on something you do every day, and you improve that thing. It means that it's gonna multiply. Like an example is that, and I have to thank my brother Joe, but he introduced me to intermittent fasting. He said that, Peter, every day you just have to not eat for 14 hours. And I did that for 60 days. I did that for 60 days and I didn't eat. And at the end, it was so enjoyable. It made my mind so sharp that I was able to go on for 16 hours and then 18 hours and at one point even 20 hours. There was no difference. Like, you know, when you're hungry after 14 hours, it's the same hunger after 20 hours. I don't know exactly why, you know, but it's the same hunger. It's not like after 20 hours, suddenly I'm twice as hungry as when I waited 14 hours. No, it's the same hunger. So if you can stand it for 14 hours, you can stand it for 20 hours. Anyways, my point is that I improved that daily habit, right? And after that, I lost 20 pounds. And today I'm 150 pounds, perfectly normal for someone of my height. So anyone can do this. But it's not something that you do once and the following day you forget. It has to be a daily habit. So if I had stopped eating for 14 hours and then the following day I go back to my normal diet, it's not going to work. So whatever you do, make sure, and this is important, I call it non-freedom, make sure you don't have the freedom to change your mind. Because a lot of people, I don't know a lot of people, but I'm sure many people try intermittent fasting and they oh my God, I'm so hungry. And then the following day, and they continue 14 hours fasting. And then the third day, you know what? I love myself. You know, it's not my weight. I'm beautiful. People accept me. If they don't accept me, screw them. Excuse my French. But people come up with all kinds of excuses to quit. And that's why, like, my non-freedom, meaning that I'm forcing myself, my non-freedom is that I'm telling Joe, I commit to it. I'm going to document my journey. And later on, I'm going to teach it to people. And that's exactly what I'm hopefully doing for you today. I'm teaching you. Teaching is demonstration. I demonstrate to you that it actually works. You want to lose a couple of pounds, just go on intermittent fasting and you're going to do it. You're not going to die. Trust me. You're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable the first few days. After that, you don't even think about it. So if you do that, you're going to lose, in my case, 20 pounds. If you're really overweight, you can lose like 30 pounds. Because you see, like, the thing that I find weird is that people talk about, I didn't know I could write here. People talk about weight loss, but it's not about weight loss. That weight loss means you put on the weight and now you're trying to lose it. Well, dude, what's the point? No, it's about not putting on the weight in the first place. That's what you have to understand. It's not about losing the weight, okay? Because you're going to be losing weight all the time because, you're going to consume all the calories in your body. So it's not about putting on the weight and then you try to lose the weight. Well, don't put on the weight in the first place. Don't put the weight on in the first place. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit excited because it's so obvious, don't put things into your mouth, it's so easy. So anyways, I have to thank my brother Joe. He introduced me to that concept, but the real lesson here is not about weight loss. I don't care if you don't go with intermittent fasting. I just want to share with you what works. The idea here is that you want to improve a daily habit. That's the take-home message here. What is the daily habit you can adopt permanently? So an example, in my case, again, my brother Joe helped me. An example is that I used to watch movies. I used to surf the internet. I would sleep late, like 2 in the morning. I wake up late. But now I sleep before midnight and I wake up at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. And so this is what they call the circadian sleep. And you need to sleep before midnight, circadian sleep. Because if you don't sleep, before midnight, your sleep is not going to be restorative. It's not going to restore the well-functioning of your cells. So it's you're going to develop illnesses and later on. So I had to create that daily habit. Usually it's not hard for most people because they have to show up in an office, but I work from home, so oftentimes I don't sleep before midnight. So that's one habit that I improve. So in your case, what is one habit, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your job, whether it's your job search, what is the one daily habit that you can adopt and make it permanent. Because if you can create that daily habit and commit to it, it's gonna change you like 365 times because you repeat it every day. So that's the take-home message. Very easy to understand, and every day you can adopt a new habit. So today you adopt a new habit, you keep it for a few days, and once it's stable, you can adopt a second habit, and so on and so forth. And so that's how you achieve an amazing life, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's I don't know, business and money, or whether it's spirituality. So speaking of spirituality, like peace of mind is very important. So every day I have a meditation session where I'm doing something with my mind. It's too personal for me to share, but I'm training my mind every day, and I've been doing it for 13 days now. And so chances are I'm going to keep doing it till the end of the year. Like, the first few days you have to pay attention. Don't be distracted. But once you have a routine, or once you have a loop and you commit to it because you see the benefit, you keep repeating, and that's how you're going to be able to achieve your dream life. So it sounds really funny, but this inner loop optimization, it's a computer concept, but you can use it to improve your entire life. You just have to pay attention to the one thing that you do every day that you shouldn't do anymore. Like just one thing. Like I have a friend who decided to stop smoking. Well, that's great, because it's not just stopping smoking. She's going to stop smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. It means that she's going to stop smoking the next day. And can you imagine the cumulated effects on her health? It's amazing, right? Same thing with anger. Let's say you notice that, you often get angry. From now on, just commit to being conscious and not lose your temper. And the following day, same thing. You're not going to lose your temper, and it becomes part of your nature. But if today you feel angry at somebody, customer service outside or whatever, your neighbor, and you don't change it, it means that tomorrow you're going to be angry. The third day you're going to be angry. So you're going to have a bad life because you haven't fixed one habit, one thing that you do without thinking. So ultimately, it's about being conscious of what it is that you do every day. What are the problems that you experience every day? How can you change that? If you change it every day, then it means you're going to be changing it 365 days a year. All right, guys, that's why I want to share with you. Please leave comments under a YouTube video. I'm always happy to hear from you. And yeah, good luck. And I'll talk to you more in the next live.